right, now we have a great follow-up. We got Plamen here who's going to talk about thinking globally, but orange pilling locally, and he's got a great story for us here about the country of Bulgaria. So Plamen, come on up to the stage, man.
Test. Okay, there we go. So the mic's working. I was going to say after this talk, I think I'm coming with the right t-shirt today. Buy Bitcoin. I would like to make a quick poll with the audience. I'm going to ask for, are there people here from Europe? Please raise your hand. Okay, about 15-20% of the people are from Europe. People from North America. Okay, maybe a bit more. People from South or Central America? Okay, and any people from Africa here? Okay, so I'm from Bulgaria. It's a country pretty much almost the opposite side of the world, quite far away from here, from Eastern Europe. And my talk is on what we are doing in Bulgaria. So, what's the goal of this presentation? I'm not going to talk about how awesome Bitcoin is, positive stuff, owning Bitcoin, self-custody, the fiat systems come, and so on. The goal of this presentation is to inspire people to do more. People like me, I look at myself as an absolute average Joe. I'm a software developer by craft. My whole life I've worked for someone else as an employee, and still I had quite the big impact in Bulgaria about Bitcoin. So I've done more than what I expected 3 years ago when I started, and I believe a lot of people can do a lot more than what they think they can achieve. I want to give some new ideas, and the title of my presentation is Think Globally, Orange Pill Locally. If it works in Bulgaria, it just might work everywhere. So, what's a Bulgaria? A lot of people might be too afraid to ask at this point. So Bulgaria is, we have these red arrows there pointing where is Bulgaria. It's in Eastern Europe, as I mentioned. In a few numbers, this is relevant to the presentation, just about 6 million of population, 110 square kilometers area, whatever that means, it's hard to imagine it. So this is why I've given some other countries and states in the United States as something to measure against. So Guatemala, neighboring country, Cuba, South Korea, Iceland are similar size, and Tennessee, Virginia, Indiana in the States. So Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria, 1.5 million people. Again, this is relevant because for this conference, this is why I started with how many people are from South America, North America, Europe, Africa, and so on. Because in order to make a conference, you must gather people together. You must gather the attendees, you must gather the speakers. So it really matters, the concentration of the population, how big the population is, and so on. And we have two other large cities, 300,000 people, large for our size, Plovdiv and Varna. The GDP of Bulgaria is $70 billion a year, which I compare to El Salvador, just to get the size. In El Salvador, according to Google, is in 2022 about $32.5 billion. The minimum wage in Bulgaria is $330 a monthly salaries. In Europe, we talk about monthly salaries, $4,000 a year after tax, or about $2 an hour. So that's Bulgaria in a few numbers relevant to the Bitcoin adoption in Bulgaria and what we're doing there. And now a very short history of Bulgaria and money. So we had hyperinflation in 1996, 1997. I'm personally born in 89, so I was 7-8 years old when the hyperinflation happened in Bulgaria. I was still a child, but I still remember it. I remember it very vividly because my father was talking how, oh my God, the dollar hit 3,000 leva. And at the time, you're a kid, like, what does that even mean? The dollar is 3,000 leva. Leva is our national currency in Bulgaria. But at the time, whoever was, adult, he knew, unless I bought dollars, I just lost all my savings. Unless I had some other some form of property, something that cannot be debased, I literally just lost my savings. So the financial literacy in Bulgaria is, I don't know, I'm not going to put a score on it, but I'm going to say that majority of Bulgarian people who want to save anything for themselves or for their children, they buy real estate. Nothing else, pretty much. There is a few gold bugs, there is a few people who buy stocks, but it's very small percent of the population of Bulgaria. And then I've written one coin, the next Bitcoin. So I completely missed this. It went over my head, but apparently Ruža Ignatova, which is a Bulgarian lady, made this shitcoin called OneCoin, and she, of course, promoted it as the next Bitcoin. And a lot of Bulgarians lost money in this shitcoin, which made my job to orange peel people in Bulgaria a lot harder. But that's the reality of it. So, my personal journey. I'm a Bitcoiner since 2017. At the time, I was living and working in London, and I was saving for a house. And I asked for a high-yielding deposit in my bank in London, and the interest rate was just horrible, what they were offering me. And this is how I started looking into other saving technologies. And this is how I stumbled Bitcoin. So, then, after the bull market of 2017 comes the bear market of 2018-19, dead insight, meaning almost no one that wants to talk about Bitcoin, oh, it's dead again, and so on, the standard stuff. And then in 2020, I started a YouTube channel. I have a slide about that, but the long story short is that I started a YouTube channel because there was no education in Bulgaria, video education about Bitcoin, any type of education. 2021, the channel grew enough that we could do meetups. In 2022, it grew enough, the community around the channel, that we made the first Bulgarian Bitcoin conference last year. And then, 2023, this year, the beginning of December, we are opening a Bitcoin bar in Bulgaria, which that's the title, just Bitcoin bar, with the idea, a place for all Bitcoiners to be able to come and gather there. And 2024, next year, I'm going to release a book. I'm going to cover this, and it's important why I'm talking about the book and what people watching this presentation can get as an idea, something they can do. So what started it all? A crypto pyramid scheme. I got invited by a personal message on Facebook that says, there is this amazing thing that you can, yield 30% a month or something like that. And of course, my reaction was like, this is a crypto pyramid scheme. And the lady on the other side said like, no, it isn't. It's something amazing. It's a crypto project. Like you have to learn about this stuff, blockchain and so on. And I said like, there's literally two possibilities. Either you're stupid enough that you don't get it, that you're inviting people to a pyramid scheme, or you're part of the game and you don't care that people are going to lose money. Then I decided to check on the different platforms that Bulgarians use, is there any information about Bitcoin? And on YouTube, in Bulgarian language, there was about 5 videos total. For the full, that's, until 2020, from 2009, that's 11 years. For 11 years, only 5 videos in Bulgarian language were created about Bitcoin. And it's important that I'm highlighting in Bulgarian language, because Bulgaria is an ex-Soviet country, so which means that I'm the first generation that studied English language in school. Majority of people my age or higher studied Russian, and they speak Russian, but they don't speak English language. So, what keeps me going? If not me, who? This is how it started. There was almost no content, so someone had to create it. So this is a call to action. People attending this conference or people who are at home watching this video, if no one else is doing it, maybe you should do it. So Bitcoin is more important than a single person. We know that. All of us know that. And all Bulgarians are going to hate me for this terrible translation, but we have this person in Bulgaria, Levski, who is a revolutionary person. We were under oppression for many years, 500 years. And he said that if he loses, he just loses his life. That's all he can lose. But if he wins, the whole country wins. And this is the same thing with Bitcoin. If we win, it's not going to be just us, everyone else, including the people who hate on Bitcoin, even the Peter Schiffs of the world and Jerome Powell of the world, or at least his kids, are going to win. So history, in my eyes, is going to be split before and after Bitcoin. So, enough about Bitcoin. Using the right platform. How to reach people in your country, in your language. Majority of Bitcoiners are on Twitter, speaking English language, retweeting, sharing, The reality, though, is that in Bulgaria, very few people use Twitter. That's just the reality. If I want to reach to Bulgarians, if I want to orange peel them, if I want to present to them what is the problem that Bitcoin solves, for instance, debate, oh, Bitcoin burns too much electricity. It burns too much electricity because you don't see the value created. Otherwise, you'll be like, oh, my air conditioning burns too much electricity, I'm going to stop it. So in order to reach these people and talk to them and explain to them, you must be on the right platform. If you're not on the right platform, you will never reach them. Different countries, they use different platforms. YouTube, most probably worldwide, except in China, dominant platform for video. However, though, TikTok, a lot of the younger population, sadly, do not want to consume longer forms of content. They are just that dopamine hit junkies that would like 60 seconds video. Still, I do firmly believe that there is a way to reach out to the younger audience, to the ones that are just used to consuming content extremely quickly, with some humor, with some video editing to be able to reach to them. And that's the first step, reaching to them. Eventually, with time, with obviously effort on their part, they will be able and they will take the time and effort to understand Bitcoin, to understand the problem that it solves in the world currently that we're living in. Blogs, Substacks, using the right language to communicate with people. So, scale. I said I started my mission in Bulgaria in 2020. So without a community, you cannot have meetups in person. Meetups are important. People don't want to just watch videos online and listen to people speak or one person speak and that's it. People want to meet in person with other people, make sure they're real beings. It's not, especially now with advancements of AI, it's not AI-generated content. They want to speak with other people on their level of understanding of Bitcoin. So when too many people are in a single community, then it's the time for a conference. We're currently in the conference in San Salvador, El Salvador. And this is my second time here. And there is, again, people from all around the world. In Bulgaria, the conference that we made last year was total with 10 speakers. I have a slide about the conference, so we're going to go there in a second. My point is that you can start small. You don't need to have 1,000 attendees, 50 plus speakers, and so on. You can start small. So once the community is consistent enough and it survives the bear market and so on, maybe it's time to open a Bitcoin bar. So the conference, attendees, without having a community, without having 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000 Bitcoiners in your country, you cannot, sadly, make a conference. Speakers, though, are easy because speakers are Bitcoiners. Bitcoiners want to assist, they want to help, they want to reach out, and they do care about adoption of Bitcoin all around the world, not just in the US or let's say in Germany, in Spain, in England, and so on. About attendees, I've put there in marks, community versus advertisement. The reality is that the attendees in our conference in Bulgaria, all of them were already part of the Bitcoin community. Advertisements do not work. People who are not Bitcoiners, seeing enough about a Bitcoin conference, are not going to purchase a ticket and attend the conference. This is just the reality. You need a venue, obviously, in order to hire the venue, you need to cover the expenses, so financing. You need to sell tickets and you need sponsors. Bulgaria is a small market. The larger companies do not show a lot of interest about Bulgaria. That's just the reality. We went through the GDP, the size, the population, and so on. In the last conference last year, we had two sponsors, Bonex and Nexo, which are companies based in Bulgaria with Bulgarian employees who, have similar enough to invest in this conference, to help the community grow, and at the same time, this hard to pull off project, to lay a hand. So mistakes along the way. I personally made a lot of mistakes, calculating the expenses, thinking about what the price of the ticket should be in order to finance everything. And of course, depending on are you in a bull market, are you in a bear market, there is either luck, either too many people who would like to attend the conference. We have a very small 2-minute clip that I would like to play now about what we made last year in 2022, which is like now up. So the whole conference, thank you. The financing of the whole conference cost us about 30,000 euro. It was budget friendly. In this 30,000 euro, we were able to pay for 2 coffee breaks included in the price and also lunch. The speakers who came to the conference were Jeff Booth, Greg Foss, Natalie Brunel. I think I had the names maybe on another slide. My point, though, that is very important to come across is that Bitcoiners would assist you. Just if you think I cannot pull this off, the Bitcoin community is a team. We work as a team. People will always assist you because they know how important it is that Bitcoin is not something that is just in the US or let's say in San Salvador or in South America. It's a global phenomenon. Bitcoin bar. I'm going to skip this slide because I'm running out of time. But long story short, the idea is that I firmly believe that once a country or a city has enough Bitcoiners, they have to have a place that they know. I don't need a conference or I don't need a large meetup in order to meet up with other Bitcoiners. I can go to a place where I know other Bitcoiners are going frequently, and I'll be able to speak with other Bitcoiners. Merchants accepting Bitcoin in Bulgaria. Skipping the slide and going directly to the map. So this is the map of around Bulgaria. The 3 yellow dots where it says 26, 18, 22 are the 3 largest cities in Bulgaria that I mentioned a bit earlier. Sofia, Plovdiv, and Varna. So in these cities, these are the amount of merchants that accept currently Bitcoin, and as you can see, in the region, we are definitely dominating. Istanbul is there in Turkey, which is just Istanbul. The amount of people in that city is like more than in the whole country of Bulgaria. Myths and legends about Bitcoin. Over a year ago, I started writing a book called Myths and Legends about Bitcoin. Why book? There's these people who really think that if something's not on national television or if it's not in a book, I don't care about it. This is how the idea came to write exactly a book. However, though, the content of the book, I'm going to go through the slides quickly and you can read the different chapters. They are literally just debunking the myths and legends about Bitcoin. Let's say Bitcoin is too slow, or Bitcoin 51% attack and vulnerability, let's say, from a nation state attacking Bitcoin. What if the internet stops? What if there is no electricity, and so on? Or let's say we need inflation. Without inflation, without the 2% inflation, there will be no growth, right? People are going to stop working if we have deflationary currency. 21 million Bitcoin is just not enough for 9 billion people. Like, you know, one divided by the other doesn't work out. Bitcoin is just used by criminals. And all of these standard facts about Bitcoin from people who obviously haven't done the work. And important books. The Bitcoin standard, it's already written. No need to rewrite it. No need to try to write a book in a similar way that explains Bitcoin and the problems that it solves. However, though, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of Bulgarians do not speak English. I've listened to the audiobook of the Bitcoin Standard, and eventually I bought a hard copy of the book, but a lot of Bulgarians cannot read it. So, George Monov have translated the book, of course with the permission of the author, and created the Bulgarian version of the book. The same thing with Jeff Booth's The Price of Tomorrow. We have now translated the book, and already, I don't know, hundreds of copies have been sold. It just got released like last month. And this is my final slide, and I have 30 seconds. So, Satoshi started it all, but without us, without the people in this room, without the people watching this talk at home, Bitcoin wouldn't have continued on this journey. We're a community and work as a team. Believe in yourself and believe that others will help you. Last year, I came here to the El Salvador conference alone. I met one other Bulgarian here while on the conference. Today, we are 10 Bulgarians here, coming together to El Salvador. Jeff Booth, Greg Foss, Natalie Brunel, Nico Ilic, Knut Svanholm, and Pierre Corbin came to Bulgaria. The question is, who will Bitcoin bring to your country? Thank you.
All right. Give it up for Plamen. Nice job, man. Go ahead and give that to the next hand. All right.